Last week, a 73-year-old woman called me, her voice filled with bitterness. I told my doctor I was feeling dizzy and tired. He just looked at me and said, "It's just old age, nothing we can do about it." Then she cried, "Why is it that when we get old, people think suffering is normal?" Have you ever heard this phrase? It's just old age. As if age is a reason to accept every lack of care, every indifference, every pain without seeking a solution. As if once we cross the threshold of 60, 70 years, we no longer deserve proper care. Why does society teach us that old age is a time to suffer in silence? Why, when we say we're in pain, do they say it's normal? When we feel lonely, do they say, everyone feels that way at this age? Today, I want to tell you something. You deserve more than that. You deserve to be heard, to be cared for, to be respected. Age is not a reason to accept neglect. Let me tell you about Margaret. She was 68 years old, living alone after her husband passed away 2 years prior. Recently, she'd been experiencing shortness of breath while climbing stairs and a rapid heartbeat while doing housework. This wasn't normal for Margaret. She used to be an active woman who enjoyed gardening and morning walks. Margaret went to see her family doctor, someone she trusted for 15 years. "Doctor, I've been feeling short of breath and very tired lately. Is there something wrong with my heart?" Margaret asked, anxiety etched on her face. The doctor barely glanced at her, listened to her heart for a few seconds, and then said, "Mrs. Johnson, you're 68 years old. It's just old age. Your body is slowing down, that's normal. Take it easy." This response was not only unprofessional but also reflected a larger problem in our society. We've been taught that aging is synonymous with inevitable decline. That pain, fatigue, and loneliness in old age are normal, requiring no attention or solution. But Margaret refused to accept this. Her late husband's voice still echoed in her mind, "Maggie, never let anyone tell you that you don't deserve the best care." She sought a second opinion. The second doctor listened carefully, conducted thorough tests, including an electrocardiogram and an echocardiogram. The result? Margaret had early-stage heart failure, a condition entirely treatable if detected early. With medication and appropriate lifestyle changes, Margaret could live healthily for many more years. If Margaret had listened to the first doctor, if she had accepted that it's just old age, what would the consequences have been? Her heart could have gradually weakened, her quality of life diminished, and her life even threatened. 6 months later, Margaret called to thank me for encouraging her to seek another opinion. "Now I can garden again, take my morning walks like before. I feel like I've been given a second life." Margaret's story is not an exception. Robert, 71, told me, "I told my daughter I was feeling lonely and wanted to participate in more social activities. My daughter said, 'Dad, you're 71, it's normal to stay home more. Don't expect too much.'" As if at 71, Robert no longer had the right to desire a rich social life. As if age had stripped him of the right to happiness, connection, and meaning in life. But Robert didn't give up. He joined the local chess club, took computer classes at the community center, and even started dating after 10 years of widowhood. "At first, my children thought I was crazy," Robert chuckled, "but when they saw how happy I was, they understood." At 73, Robert married Dorothy, a 69-year-old widow. His life completely changed because he refused to accept that it's just old age. This phenomenon in healthcare has a name: ageism, discrimination based on age. Research by the American Geriatric Society shows that older adults are often misdiagnosed, prescribed inappropriate medications, or have serious symptoms overlooked simply because of old age. But what is the truth? Many health problems we consider normal in old age are actually entirely preventable, treatable, or significantly improvable. Joint pain is not inevitable. Depression is not an essential part of aging. Loneliness is not a fate we must accept. Linda, 66, shared another story with me. When I complained to my son about being excluded from important family decisions, he said, "Mom, you're getting old, let us handle things. It's just your age making you worry too much." As if age had stripped her of the right to participate, to have her opinions respected, to be considered a valuable member of the family. Linda wasn't a burden. Linda was a woman with 40 years of experience in finance, who raised 3 successful children, weathered the 2008 economic crisis, and helped her family keep their home. Why was her opinion irrelevant just because she was 66? They wanted to sell the family home and move me to a smaller apartment, Linda recounted. When I asked about the financial plan, about taxes, about legal issues, my son said, "Don't worry about it, Mom. You don't understand these things anymore." But Linda understood these things better than anyone. She had worked in real estate for 20 years before retiring. She knew the right questions to ask, the risks to avoid. But all that experience was dismissed because of a single number, 66. I encouraged Linda to stand up for her rights. She called a family meeting, brought all the financial documents, and presented a detailed plan for restructuring the family assets. Her children were stunned by her deep understanding. That's when they realized, Linda smiled, that I wasn't old and confused. I just wasn't being listened to. This is the biggest problem we face. Society has created a false narrative about old age. We're told that after 65, we should slowly withdraw, accept a passive role, and be grateful for being taken care of instead of demanding respect. Dr. Sarah Chen, a leading geriatrician in Boston, shared with me, "I have 85-year-old patients running marathons and 65-year-old patients who can't walk for 10 minutes. The difference isn't age, it's how we take care of our health and how society treats us." Dr. Chen told me about Mrs. Patterson, 78, who came in with back pain. The previous doctor had dismissed it as normal arthritis of old age and prescribed painkillers. But Dr. Chen ran further tests and discovered a spinal tumor, fortunately benign and operable. If we accept that pain is normal in old age, we miss so many opportunities to save lives and improve the quality of life for our patients. Research from Stanford University shows that older adults are often prescribed sedatives and painkillers instead of receiving underlying treatment. They are seen as difficult cases to be comforted rather than cured. This is not only medically wrong but also inhumane. Mary, 74, once told me, "My children and grandchildren always say, 'Grandma, times have changed, you don't understand.' But has love changed? Is honesty outdated? Do family values have an expiration date?" Mary lived through the Vietnam War while her husband served in the military. She raised her children alone for 2 years. She weathered the oil crisis of the 70s, the inflation of the 80s. She witnessed the birth of the internet, mobile phones, and social media, and adapted to it all. "I didn't just live through history," Mary said, "I helped make it." So why is my opinion not important in family decisions? Mary's question goes to the heart of the matter. We have learned to exist, to adapt, to overcome difficulties. Our life experience is not a dusty museum, but a treasure trove of knowledge. But how do we change this situation? First, we must change the way we talk about ourselves. Don't say, "I'm old, I don't understand anything." Say, "I have experience, I understand what's important." Don't say, "Why at my age, I guess illness is normal." Say, "I deserve proper health care." Second, don't accept disrespectful treatment. When a doctor says it's just old age, respond, age doesn't explain this symptom. I need you to run more tests or refer me to a specialist. When your children or grandchildren say you're too old to understand, say, I may not understand new technology, but I understand life and people. Third, seek out communities of like-minded individuals. Eleanor, 72, told me, after my husband passed away, I felt invisible in society. People looked at me with pity, as if I were just a ghost of the past. Eleanor joined a local book club. At first, she was hesitant, thinking she would be the oldest. But she discovered that age didn't matter when everyone shared a passion for literature. They judged me by what I said about the book, not by my age. Now Eleanor is the most active member of the club. She organizes discussions on classic literature, sharing insightful perspectives from her life experience. I realized that I don't need permission to be valuable. I am valuable because of who I am. The most important thing I want you to remember, you don't have to prove anything to anyone. You have lived, you have loved, you have contributed. You have raised children, built careers, overcome challenges. You have paid taxes, voted, participated in building your community. You have been a part of history. Tom, 69, a retired teacher, told me, for 40 years, I taught thousands of students. Many of them are now doctors, lawyers, and engineers. But when I go to the hospital, young doctors look at me like I'm an old man who doesn't understand anything. Tom decided to change his approach. Every time he saw a doctor, he introduced himself. I'm Tom Williams, a retired math teacher. I've worked with statistics and data analysis my whole life. I want to understand my health condition clearly. Their attitude changed immediately. Tom laughed. When they knew I could understand and ask intelligent questions, they treated me like a person, not a collection of medical problems. Loneliness is not a fate we must accept either. An 80-year Harvard study showed that good social connections are the most important factor determining happiness and health, not money or success. Dorothy, 81, decided not to accept loneliness after her children and grandchildren moved away. I had two choices, sit at home and complain, or go out and find new friends. Dorothy chose the second option. She joined a yoga class for seniors, a library volunteer group, and even learned how to use a dating app for older adults. At 81, I have a busier social calendar than I did in my 30s. Dorothy now has a close group of friends, regular social activities, and most importantly, a clear purpose in life. Old age doesn't mean waiting to die. Old age means living true to yourself. When you encounter ageism, remember these stories. Remember that it's just old age is not an acceptable answer. You deserve the best medical care. You deserve a rich social life. You deserve to be heard and respected. Old age is not an apology you have to make to the world. Old age is a badge of honor you have earned through years of living, loving, and contributing. You are not a burden. You are not a problem to be endured. You are a person with the full right to happiness, care, and respect. The next time someone says, it's just old age, remember that they are wrong. That's not the truth about you. It's simply their lack of understanding of the true value of a human being. You have 60, 70, 80 years of life experience. You have overcome challenges that younger generations can't even imagine. You have loved, lost, learned, and grown. That's why you deserve more than that. You deserve the best medical care. You deserve a rich social life. You deserve to be heard and respected. You deserve love and happiness until the very last day of your life. If this message resonates with you, please share it so others also know that they deserve more. Leave a comment and tell us about a time you were treated unfairly because of your age and how you overcame it. Your story could inspire someone who needs to hear these words. Subscribe to join me in fighting for the right to respect for everyone, regardless of age. Because each of us deserves to live fully, from birth to the end of life. You deserve more than it's just old age. You deserve everything.